Now we come to my dear old friend, Mr. Robin David Jackman, the old silver fox. Now, you would be amazed that very shortly he will be turning 70, which is quite a milestone in itself. I remember my peers at Pretoria High School Old Boys saying that I lived so violently that I wouldn't make 40. I myself set the limit at 50. I'm happy to say I've sailed past all those milestones quite untroubled. And I'm not far away from joining Mr. Jackman in the 70 stakes. The other important thing, though, about Robin is that his 70th birthday, his 70th year, coincides with 50 years of cricket at the very highest level. From the time he started as a young boy at Surrey County Cricket Club in England, through the years that he played for England in both Test match cricket and one-day internationals, and then for Western Province, for Rhodesia, who used to play in the Currie Cup with us. All of that Robin has done, married a South African girl, lives in South Africa, in Cape Town, and has done for so many years now, has become a ware South African supporter in every single way. And of course, when the playing and coaching days were over, he graduated into broadcasting. And that is where, as colleagues, we have had a lot of fun over the years. He was an extraordinary cricketer. And I think the greatest aspect of his career as a player was the fact that he bowled over 14,000 overs in top-class cricket. Forget about club cricket, which he played. Forget about net practices and all that. 14,000 overs in top-class cricket. It's a remarkable statistic. He took over 1,400 first-class wickets, played nearly 400 first-class matches, and well over 200 what they call one-day international matches or one-day cricket matches. He's also, would you believe it, made something like 5,700 runs, which one forgets in a way. But I think what so many of us don't know is that he has had this incredible cricket career of 20 years of playing top-class, first-class cricket, which is extraordinary for anybody. But for so many of us, he has become one of the finest cricketing broadcasters, not only in South Africa, but in the entire world. He really is a great broadcaster. His knowledge of the game, his insight, and the calm and quiet way he goes about it. Today, with 2020 cricket and the 50-over stuff and IPL and all that, you hear the commentators mostly are hyping it up to a degree that it in the end becomes tiresome. Robin is more of the old school that learnt from people who said, if you have nothing to say to embellish what you can already see on television, then don't say anything. And his quiet but wonderfully enthusiastic way of going about his broadcasting is absolutely unbelievable. And, of course, he's one of the best people that you could ever hope to be on tour with. Whether as a player or whether as a fellow broadcaster or just anybody, a supporter, Robin is always in the forefront of having a good time and making a meaningful contribution to any tour. And we've had some tough tours. Believe me, the many times that he and I have been together in Pakistan and India and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Well, West Indies isn't too bad, is it, Fox? I mean, we rather enjoy that. But it's never easy touring those sort of places. They're so different to ours in every way. And we've had some extraordinary scrapes along the way. The most frustrating, I think, is that when you're in a place like India, nothing ever happens on time. The buses are never on time. You go to the airport and you sit there for hours and hours because the aeroplanes are not functioning on time. Everything is, well, we'll see when it happens. And to be at an Indian airport when you're waiting for hours and hours for a flight that might not even happen, it becomes tiresome. You can't have a cup of coffee because you can't trust the milk that's in the coffee, you see. And of course, there's not a bar to be seen anywhere. And on one torturous day, when it's over 40 degrees in heat, we were sitting at Delhi airport and our flight was postponed for the umpteenth time. And having been there from 10 o'clock in the morning and now knowing that we were only going to fly at about 5:30 that afternoon, I said, Fox, it is time we found a libation. And so we shall hail a tuk-tuk and tell him to take us to the nearest pub, wherever that may be. And then we discovered that just 2 kilometers down the road is the international Delhi airport, where indeed they do cater for thirsty people like us. And so we did hail the tuk-tuk and we raced to the international departure lounge. And knowing that we had a limited time, we got rather busy. And we got rather pissed, to be quite honest. And when we came out, we expected a tuk-tuk to be there waiting to take us back to the domestic airport. And to our horror, there wasn't a tuk-tuk in sight. There wasn't a cab in sight. There wasn't any form of transport whatsoever. And I said, Fox, do you realize that we are going to have to set off for the domestic airport on foot in 40-degree heat? And so we did. Slowly, but looking at our watches and realizing we better gather pace. Otherwise, we were going to miss this much delayed flight. And then I saw a wallah on a bicycle. And I hailed the good man and I said to him, my good man, how much do you want for that bicycle? He said, 200 rupee. Now, 200 rupees was about 30 rand at that time. I gladly, very gladly, paid in the 200 rupees. And I turned and I said, Fox, we have transport. And I sat up on the bicycle and I said to him, it was one of those old-fashioned jobs that has, you know, the little carrier at the back where your mother used to put your sarmies for you. And I said, Foxy, I will pedal and you sit on the back. Which he dutifully did. But of course, as hard as I tried to pedal, we went nowhere. And then he came up with a brainwave. He said, I'm much lighter than you. I'll get on the bicycle and I'll set off. And when I've built up a bit of speed, you trot alongside the bicycle. And when I say, now, you leap onto the carrier at the back. And we'll be going. Remember, all this is being done under a certain amount of inebriation. And so he set off. built up a little speed, and I was puffing alongside him, and he ordered me to jump, and I did. And I landed full square on the seat of this carrier seat, and there was a loud explosion as the fucking back tire burst. When I looked up at the Waller, he was standing there politely, just shaking with mirth. He got his bicycle back. I never got my 200 rupees back, and we set off on foot again. Only mercifully for one of those great painted buses to come by. And when you broadcast cricket in India, you become like a folk hero. They love their cricket to such a degree. And the bus saw us walking along, and he came to a screeching halt. "Mr. Jackman, Mr. Quirk, where you go?" We said, "To the airport." Now, we climbed in the bus. It was absolutely, you couldn't believe, fuzzed with incense. We stood at the door choking, but we got to the airport. We made our flight. The Waller got his bicycle back, and all was well in the end. We've had many such excursions, escapes along the way. But he remains one of the finest cricketers that has ever played the great game. He also is, still today, one of the finest broadcasters. Sadly, he's recently had cancer of the vocal cord, which is the most cruel thing for anybody whose voice is so important to him. But he has overcome that. He's clear from that now. The voice is sometimes good, sometimes bad. But his cricketing career will go on as a broadcaster, even though he'll do a lot less than he used to, and mainly test match cricket. But may I say, Robin, I hope that we will be able to enjoy you for many years to come. Robin Jackman.